Good morning. If you are watching right now, this is the replay. We are no longer live, but welcome. Today I'm going to be making a custom order for Holly. She has a Denver backpack. The pattern is going to be linked in the description if you're interested in purchasing it. It is not my pattern. It was designed by Swoon. I'm not sure if the name of the company changed or not. But this was previously recorded on TikTok, so if you're watching it right now on the replay, I apologize about the format. I can't change it to be horizontally. I'm so sorry. I know I get that complaint all the time, and I wish there was something I can do, trust me. All right, I'm going to wait for Holly to jump on, and then we're going to get started. This is the print that she chose. So it has her name on a bunch of different pieces of paper. I'm assuming she's a teacher. Hey, Crafty Mom. That's going to be the outside, and then this is going to be the interior, which is cotton lined with Profuse SF101, a woven interfacing. So I'm just going to wait for her to jump on, and then we will get started. Hey, Holly, you're here. Are you excited? This has been a long time in the making, I know. I'm gonna get my lighting right. Does it look dark in here to you guys? Hi, Terry. Very excited. Good. Okay, I was just showing off the print, but I don't know if you missed it or not. Let me grab the lining. I kind of got everything stacked up in order, so I don't want to mess around. So this is going to be the interior. There is a zipper pocket. I left this open. We're going to turn this bag right side out through the pocket. Red coordinating vinyl. And then the exterior, it's gonna look a little funky. This is a backpack, and it is sewn a little bit differently than a traditional backpack, but this would be the front, one of the front pattern pieces. So this is what it looks like, kind of a close-up on it. Let's jump right in. I'm going to start with the pockets. I usually like to start with the front pockets. So there's two front slip pockets, and then there's one zipper pocket on the inside. Hey, Danny. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad we could get it the way that you wanted it. I know it was such a hard print to do on this backpack just because of the shape of the backpack, so I'm glad that we got it done. Okay, so this is going to be one of the front pockets, and essentially what's going to happen because this is the front main print and this is the pocket, it's going to essentially line up or be sewn on like that. So again, I know it looks a little funky, but the way it all comes together is fascinating. Thank you. All right, so we'll start with one pocket. We're going to sew our zipper down the curved edge. Let me get everything ready. I'm just going to baste it on, and then we'll add the lining. I just go nice and slow. You want that arc and that curve to be perfect with your seam because, like I said, it has to match up to the other pattern piece. I'm almost so sad if I had to pick something else. I get it. I'm glad we were able to do it. Now, I think I see a problem. All of my pocket pieces, it's gonna aggravate me. I don't know how I did that. So, all of these are the same. You actually need two that are opposing. So let me go ahead and sew one. This other one, I can sew that up because that'll work for the lining. But then I have to go and cut a couple more pieces and interface it. Annoying. Hey, Just Mammy. I don't know how I messed up. You actually have to mirror 4 pieces on this pattern, and I'm always so scared I'm gonna mess up with the main pattern pieces that I'm like extra careful, and I totally messed up the inside lining, which is par for the course if you've watched my lives this week. For some reason, I don't know if I'm just still on vacation brain, but I think I messed up like 4 times yesterday. We got to get it back together. All right, zipper is sewn down. We are going to add a lining piece right on top of that. I'm just going to add a couple clips so I know it lines up. What are you guys doing today? It's so cold outside. Like, it's so cold outside here. I didn't even check the temperature. I opened up the door to put some packages out front for a pickup and let my dogs out this morning, and I just couldn't even do it. It happens. So the first row of stitching closest to the edge is where I sewed the zipper on, and then the one down a little bit further is where I just sewed the pocket. Is this pattern considered advanced? Yes. So with the weight, thanks. I'm caught up in a buddy. I leave for sure. Oh! I swear every time I talk to you, you're always going on a cruise. Where are you going? Snowing in Michigan. Oh. I love this time of the year for baking and all the lights outside. It's just amazing. It was 15 below zero. Okay, so it's not that cold here, Judy. It is cold. Snowing. Good morning, tea bags. All right, so I'm just top stitching. And this is gonna be one pocket. And then now I need the opposite pocket piece to make the lining. So this is what it looks like. Top stitched. I'm so sorry, I'm gonna have to run and cut a couple pieces of fabric and interface it. It's gonna take me a minute. I'll get everything prepped. I have to heat my press to interface it. Just a 4-day to cost more than heavy. I have a 10-day. Why wasn't I given an invite? I think that's a better question. Oh. This is so bothersome. Let me grab these pieces so I know which ones to do. My cutting table is right behind where I sew. Okay. All right, they're cut out. Let me trace my pattern pieces. To go like this. Cut out some interfacing. Let's see this. That's cut out. Let me interface them really quick. How annoying. If you have a joke, put it in the comments for me. We need like a joke of the day. That's just my steam press. Let me cut it out really quick and we will be back in business. Okay, done. I got my pajama pants on today. It's been one of those days. Okay. Now we have the right size. And we're going to sew this later. So this is one of the pockets. We're going to do the same thing to the other one. Where are you, pocket? There we go. How are you today? Great question. My mind's just not in the game. I think that vacation that I took for Thanksgiving was just too long. Because I'm all over the place. Okay. Now we sew. Are we doing the notebook cover too? I have it cut out. If I have enough time to do it, yes. I don't know my PJs that way. I know, I'm lucky. My boss is so sweet. I'm my boss. I just had to rip out two seams because I sewed them upside down. Isn't that was me yesterday, all day yesterday. Actually, after my live, I got up from my sewing machine. I didn't sew anything else. I actually took some pictures of some bags that I made and uploaded them to my website because I was like, sewing is just, I'm done for the day. There's just times where you know it's best to walk away. And that was yesterday. Your boss is the sweetest. Thanks, Deanie. Okay, let me add my pulls. Do I want to do that now? No, let's wait. All right, so we're going to add the zipper pocket to the main print. Hey, Nikki. I just finished a cup holder the other day and then immediately after I got sick, oh no. Thanks, Holly. All right, so for this one, I'm going to clip it in place instead of just holding it because it really matters where it starts and stops. I'll grab some more clips. Oh my gosh, happy to see you. Thanks. So I start at the bottom and then I clip to the top and then I meet it in the middle just because This is a serious angle to make sure everything, the zipper fits perfectly. And you can make a couple of cuts in the zipper or in the fabric if you need to, just to make it fit. So that's how it's going to be sewn on, that zipper pocket. So it's just clipped in place. I'm going to do a stay stitch. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Lisa. Just go nice and slow. There we are. So that is stitched in place. Now we're going to add the other piece to the pocket, which is the back part right here. Hey, Lena. There we go. So that's going to go on like that. And again, I'm just going to add a couple clips to keep it in place. And then sew that down. What are you making? This is a Denver backpack for Holly. Hi, Orion. Haven't seen you for a long time. Really? I've been here. Been around. Okay, I think I sew it from the lining side. And just go nice and slow. There's no racing and sewing. So our pocket is complete on this side, and we're just going to repeat all of those steps on the other side. So let me go ahead, and I like to do a little stay stitch around all three pieces of this fabric so I can just remove the clips and they'll all be sewn together because our pocket is essentially done at this point. Let me add my pull. So we want our pull to be this pocket to be zipped down, so we're going to start it on the bottom to get it on the top. Make sure it lines up. Another piece of thread in the way. There we go. So now to open it, it'll be going down. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just sew this closed all the way around. Make sure that your pull is included into the panel. You don't want it on the outside. Uh-oh. just got caught on those teeth. Hi Janet, hi Brenda. Let's see if I can sew it down this way. There we go. And I'm just gonna trim the excess zipper. Hit it with the lighter so it doesn't unravel. Wanted to remind you to send extra logo. Wanted to remind you to send extra logo goes on zipper. It fell off. Can you send me an email? I won't remember that by the end of this video. Okay, so our pocket on this side is all done. Fully closed because we sewed her on the outside. So we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side for the pocket. All right, so we line it up like that. Start clipping. Go down to the bottom, start clipping. And then meet it in the middle. So we won't have any lives tomorrow. I have to take my car to the shop. What's tomorrow, Wednesday? Thursday. I don't think we'll have a live, but I know Friday at 2 p.m. we're gonna have a live because I have another custom order to do. What are you making? Sorry, I just joined. No worries, this is a backpack. All right, stay stitch. The other side of the lining. Friday at 2, yeah. Oh, that seems difficult. Yeah, I mean, this isn't an easy pattern. This is one of the more challenging patterns that I make, but it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding once you get through it. It kind of reminds me of the zip around wallet that I make. It's very challenging, but once you master it, it's just, it's such a great pattern. I can't say that enough. I'm not sure. I went high enough. I didn't go high enough with this side of the pattern piece. There we go. All right, sew that down. I stay stitch the zipper with a 4 stitch length, and then I come in with a 3.5 for my lining. So when you see me changing the length, that's what I'm doing. I say the majority of the creators use Juki machines. Why did you choose Juki? I think probably because I saw another sewist, another bag maker have it. It's a great machine. I don't have a ton of knowledge on sewing machines, so I'm probably not the right person to like seek guidance, but I watched a lot of videos, not just from people who make bags, but people who sell this Juki. Whenever I invest a lot of money, because this is quite expensive machine. I like to do as much research as possible, and not just what it can do, right? There's a lot of YouTube channels that talk about troubleshooting. So there's a lot of YouTube channels for companies that sell sewing machines, and so what I like to do is I like to go on there and see what their troubleshooting is, and just to kind of see what normally goes first, see what people are commenting, if like, oh yeah, that happened to me, or can you show me how to fix this, before I invest money. So that's why I got it. I'm happy to catch your backpack. Thanks, Barb. All right, let's add our pool. There we go. So now when we open it, it's going to open pulling down, and then we're going to sew all of these layers together so we can take off our clips. You're going to make sure that your pull is included. Trim off the excess and then hit it with the lighter. My lining is peeking out just a little bit, so I'm just going to trim that up. Alright, we're going to add the zipper, but to do that I need to prep it. And this has a zipper end, which is what we're going to do now. I'm going to add my last zipper pull. What are you making? This is a backpack. It's a custom order for Holly. There we go. So with the zipper teeth, we're going to add our vinyl face side down. And then on the back, we're going to add our cotton lining face side down as well. Just gonna line those up. There we go. And then I'm just going to stitch across the top. And then we're going to open it up and do a top stitch. Give it a little tug. Simple enough. So that's what it looks like on the outside, and then this is what it's going to look like on the inside. We are going to line this up. Let me add a clip so I don't pull that off. And make sure it's going the right way. To open, we're gonna open from the top down. Okay. Okay. So we're going to lay that teeth side down to the top, sew that in place. I want one of your bags, I just can't decide which one. That's the hardest part. Usually when I'm working with people to design their custom orders, that's the hardest part as well. It's just deciding what you want. All right, let's sew this down. That came undone. as far as we can here, and then we're going to transition to the back of the backpack, which is where the shoulder straps go, the strap attachments, etc. All right, so our zipper is attached. Love it. I'm actually just gonna take the pull off and put that back on later, so I don't have to worry about fooling with that. We are going to grab a lining piece, which now looks like this full piece, just like that, and we're gonna sew that onto the zipper. So I'm just gonna get that lined up, sew it down. So remember, personally, when I stay stitch or baste the zipper on the outside, I use the 1/8 inch seam allowance, and then when I come back, I use the 1/4 inch. That's just personal preference. All right, we're gonna flip this right side out so that way the lining is on the inside. I'm going to clip the bottom together so I know everything is the same size, and then we're gonna top stitch right along the top of this outside fabric, and that's going to allow, see that little bubble on the top, that's going to allow it to lay nice and flat. Going to repeat all of those steps for the other side. So this is what it looks like top stitched. This little row of stitching, it starts right here, goes all the way down. All right, let's do the same thing for the other side. This isn't going to be fun because I took my pull off, so it's going to be pulling away, which we'll deal with it. We'll do. Do you change your stitch length when you top stitch? Yes, I do a 5 when I top stitch. All right, let's face this down. I like a nice wide top stitch. I think a really small top stitch, I don't know if it's just, it doesn't look professional to me. I don't know what it is about a small top stitch, but it's not my thing. All right, now we're going to add our lining. How long did you go to school for? So I didn't go to school for sewing. I actually went to school for accounting. I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos and taught myself that way. What kind of thread do you use? Is it a certain weight? Yeah, so I use the Mara 70. It's a Gutermann thread, and I buy mine from Wawak, W-A-W-A-K. Agree, mine is like a 7, but my machine is older. It's funny you say that. I have another sewing machine, and it only goes up to a 4. Like this machine goes up to a 9, but my other machine goes up to a 4, and it's almost as wide as the 4 on this one. I mean 5 on this one. All right. I've never used a 9 on a sewing machine before. I'd be interested to see what that looks like. Good morning, I sent you an email regarding the pocket size for the Big B. I haven't gotten it yet. Did you just send it? Because I caught up on all my emails yesterday when I quit sewing. If you haven't gotten a response from me, it's probably because I didn't get it. And I check my spam folders too. I would double check the email, make sure it's info@butterbags.com. Butterbags with the S. All right, let's do a top stitch. About 10:50 this morning. Okay, that was right before I went on live, so I didn't get it yet. I'll respond as soon as I get off. All right, let's figure out this funky chicken. 2 stitches per inch, right? Right? I don't want to sew over my other side. So now what we're going to do is going to be a little funky. Actually, let's see what it looks like. 5 versus 9. So that's 5. Let me see if I can even turn. That's huge. Yeah. So the one on the right is 5, and this one right here is the size 9 stitch length. I got my quilt done today. That made my day. Oh, awesome. Congrats. Okay, now what we need to do, when we sew the zipper on, we actually start sewing about 1 inch from the zipper end. See where that little stitch line starts and that little stitch line starts? This is not sewn down to the zipper. Same thing for the inside, the zipper end. This is not sewn down to the zipper end. So what we need to do now is connect all 3 of these pieces, and we need to sew it. That's going to separate the inside and outside when we put it together. And it's a little confusing, especially if you haven't made this bag before, but this step is incredibly important. So all I'm going to do is we're going to follow that fold from where we folded it down to do our top stitching. I'm going to follow the fold on that outside piece, and I'm going to connect it to the zipper tab, and then do the same thing over here. Follow that fold over here, connect it, and just sew along the top edge. Because we need this part of the bag for the outside, not connected to the inside. There we go. Hey Day. Hi. Stop. Stop. Alright, so I just did it along this top just to join all 3 of those pieces together. And again, I'm going to do the same thing for the inside. We're going to join these 2 side pieces to this. Happy Tuesday! Just go slow. You don't have a whole lot of space to sew, so just go slow. I'm just lining everything up. There we go. So now we have that little gap right here where the zipper comes through. So we have our interior totally separated from our exterior. We're going to set this aside and let's work on the back. All right, so here are our strap connectors. We're going to put a piece of tape right down the center. Tape's just going to hold these folds in place. What are you making? This is a backpack. There we go. So we just fold it in half. I'm going to put on our square ring. I'm going to just add some clips to keep it in place because we're going to sew this down. So we're just going to sew a long rectangle to secure these pieces together. Are you using vinyl for the outside? Yes, and I'm using cotton for the inside. dog outside barking. I've only done vinyl on the bottom of the bag, never the whole bag. They have so many patterns now, I know. And there's so many different ways that you can do it. This bag right here, this little leopard bag, is actually cotton canvas. And I just lined it with SF101 and then used the same cotton canvas for the inside. And so it gives it its sturdiness with those thickness in that fabric. But you can use so many different types of fabric. The possibilities are endless, yes. Okay, let's go ahead and sew these down. I'm gonna use a 4.5 stitch length. All right, at this point, my metal sewing foot is on top of the metal hardware. And so I'm just gonna put something as a buffer in between them. There we go. That way it won't scratch my vinyl going down. Like all stitched on. The next step down on the hardware is real, yes. All right, so those are done. I'm going to set that aside. We have a pull at the very top, not a pull, a grab handle at the very top, so I'm going to make that next. So these are all just the little pieces that we have to add to the back of the bag. So I'm just prepping all the pieces, then we'll put them all to the back. Don't ever give up, it'll work out. True most of the time. All right, so we fold this one in half, and then we're going to fold it in half again. Well, not in half. We fold each side to the center, and then we fold it in half. We just did this for our connectors, and that's because this seam right here is being hidden when we sew that down. This seam is not going to be hidden on the grab handle because it's going to be like that. So you want to just do it in half again, and we're going to sew that down. Doing a zipper the first time. Oh, yeah. Yes, that's true. Yep, I needed lots of practice when I started incorporating zippers in my sewing. And I started on clothes, so it was a little bit easier, in my opinion. Alright, so that is going to be our grab handle at the top of the bag. So I'm just going to set that aside. And then we have to prep, what's this? This goes on the bottom. Alright, and this is going to be the same idea as the handle. This is going to go on here, and then we're going to sew that down. Done. Boopity boop. What else do we have? We have one other thing. So that piece that I just sewed and then this piece right here are going to be how the bag closes. So the bag has a zipper closure, and then it has a clip, like a security clip. And that's what this is. If you've never seen the bag before, it's kind of weird, but it's so cute and it's so unique. This pattern is such a uniquely drafted pattern. It's not mine, but I love making it. I love the way it comes together. Alright, right, so I just used a 1/4 inch double-sided tape all the way around. We're going to finish the edges on these, and then we're going to set that aside, because this is going to be the very last step of making this backpack. Can't thank you enough for making it happen. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Happy belated birthday. I wish I could have gotten it to you before your birthday. Okay. And then all I'm going to do is just fold in each side. Just like that, push it into the tape, and that's going to give me a finished edge. So when it's done, the edges will be finished. You won't see any of the back material. I'm gonna add a little clip on my corners. And just keep pressing that into the tape. Just like that. I'm sliding off my chair. Alrighty. And then now what I'm going to do is just stitch all the way around the edge, just to kind of lock that fold in. I can't remember, it's been so long since I've looked at this pattern. I can't remember if this is sewn onto the bag or if I like to rivet it on. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm not sure if the pattern tells you to sew it onto the bag or if it tells you to do it like this. I'm gonna have to switch out my thread soon. Has anybody made this pattern recently who remembers? There we are. So that's just stitched all the way around. And there's a lobster clasp. And then we are going to rivet it on the bag at the very end. So I'm just going to keep this folded over and then set this aside. There we go. So that is actually going to clip to this end as like a security lock at the end. This is going to be sewn onto the bottom, and that's the only prep work that we have to do for the bottom. So let me go ahead and just knock that out really quick, and then we'll get to the back of the bag. Make sure this is centered. Just start like that. There we go. So that's just sewn like that. I'm gonna set that aside. And then let's grab our back and we can start sewing. So here is where our our back strap connectors are going to be sewn on. Just gonna clip these in place. The pattern gives you the little measurements of where to put it. I made your cozy cuddle pattern for my grandkids' Christmas who are moving to Germany. Oh, I hope they love it. I love that pattern. I actually need to make some more. Okay, so we're just gonna stay stitch those down. How old are your grandkids? It's honestly like the perfect age gift. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. I'm just nosy. I haven't had a chance to make that one yet. 2, 7, 11, and 13. Perfect. Did you use the regular size for all of them, or did you make the 11 and 13-year-old the larger one? Okay, that's that. Let's go ahead and add our grab strap at the very top of the bag. So we're just going to flip it the other way, do a little stay stitch. Oh, hey, I haven't seen you in forever. That's so crazy. People keep saying that. I'm here. I wonder if you're just not getting notified. Probably. What is a cozy cuddle? It's a neck scarf. I have the pattern available on my website. I adjusted the small for the 2-year-old and made the right. Oh, nice. Nice. All right, so that's just basted on. So it's upside down now, but once it's done, it'll look like that. And then now we're going to add our back straps. I'm making one right now. Nice. They come together so fast. All right, so this has an adjustable strap, so you can make it smaller, longer, depending on how tall, short, small, wide. All right, we're going to double fold it. So fold it down once and then fold it down again. And then I'm just going to sew a square. Hey, Julie. Okay. Let me get this lined up. Hi, JD Coleman. Okay, so the way this is attached is we are going to thread it through here, and then we're going to thread it back through our adjustable buckle. Oh, that's not right, that's going backwards. I'm gonna go up. I was doing it upside down. All right, so we're gonna thread this through, and then we're going to thread this through here. And then we're going to attach it to the top, just like that. So that way, this can be undone to make the strap larger, or done up to make it shorter. And then what I like to do is fold over my nylon webbing like this when I sew it down. I never feel comfortable, and I've seen a lot of people make bags where the webbing starts unraveling through the seam right here. So personal preference, I always just like to fold this over and give it a stitch, and that just reinforces that nylon webbing. All right, so let me line that up where I want it to go. You can actually just sew it down with about 3/4 of an inch webbing off. And then you can just fold it over and do another basting stitch right on top. There's going to be another seam. This isn't going to be the final stitch. There we go. And that just always makes me feel a little bit better about the strap not coming undone. All right, so we're gonna do the exact same thing over here. Should have you doing something. Well, yeah, that would be nice with this set. All right, so remember, double fold, sew down. Good morning, this is my first time joining your live. I enjoy your tutorials. Thanks for joining. I'm going to have to switch out my thread. I think I said that before. I mean it this time, after I sew this. Trim my thread. Well, I guess I need to get in line again. Yep, sign up is still available. It'll definitely be after Christmas though. My Christmas custom orders are cut off. Been taking a really long time to get my custom fabric back anyways, and it's just because it's the time of the year. I think it took about a little over 2 weeks to get this fabric back. All right, let me switch that out. I'm almost done. Somebody was asking about the red that I use. So it's the Gutermann, hopefully it'll focus. Anyways, Mara 50. I have another little one that I can use. I'm trying to get rid of all of my small ones first. Let me thread this really quick. I'm gonna grab some water. Eyes. There we go. Thanks. Scooty? All right, let's go ahead and thread this one through. So again, we just thread it through the bottom, come back up, thread it through our buckle, sew it to the top. Leave some extra hemming over the edge so you can fold. And then that's it for the back. I think we're ready to put everything together now. We prepped the front, we prepped the back, we prepped the bottom, and then now we're just gonna sew everything together. All right, so here's what the back looks like. I'm gonna pull this down a little just so it's not gonna be in my way when I sew this together. So let's go ahead, add the zipper pull to the outside. I'm gonna unclip everything. That's the back for the inside. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the outside to the outside, inside to inside, and we're going to clip and sew all the way down the front. So before I do that, I'm just going to trim my excess zipper. Let me just do a little base stitch. Just to close that zipper together. Trim it. Hit it with the lighter. Every time I cut my zippers, I try to hit it with the lighter just because it will unravel if you don't. Got a little piece of thread right here. Alright. So outside to outside, inside to inside. Add a couple clips and then start stitching. It's a big bag. So it's sewn together. This right here is where the back goes. So let's go ahead and do the back of our exterior first. So I know it looks kind of funky, but this is, the back goes to here. So I have my center marked here, and that's just gonna go right in between the where the zipper is. Clip everything in place and then we'll sew it down. Nikki, are you laughing at me? Did you see that comment? All right, I like to just get it started at the top, and then I'm gonna come down here at the bottom and then get everything connected. I'm gonna trim this excess off. Not laughing at you, laughing with you. Okay, good. All right, good. I'm like, what? All right, onward. I want to make sure that my zippers are out of the way with my pockets. Just going to pull those down a little bit. There we go. Give me a little clearance. There we go. So the back is clipped to this half, and then we're going to do the same thing over here. Give me some water. Give me a sec. It's getting a little warm. Okay. Start down at the bottom. Thanks, Laurel. That's nothing fancy. I think I just got it from Amazon. My clips are going everywhere. Okay. Now for this particular pattern, I like to staple this curved edge. I find that when I take my clips off, so that way I can sew the curve, and you know, you have to put it in your sewing machine going up like that. I find that it tends to not stay lined up. My edges don't tend to stay lined up, so I'm just going to reinforce it. I'm just adding a couple of staples to the outside of my seam allowance, so I'm not going to be sewing over these, and I'm going to remove them as soon as I'm done. And I'll show you up close where the staples are. So it's on the very outside of my fabric, so I have no way of sewing over them. Just around that top part of the curve. So as you can see where my staples are, they're on the very top, so I should not be sewing through them at all. Okay. And so go nice and slow. We have a lot of thickness under here where our shoulder strap connectors are. Where our zippers are. So this is how you have to sew the curve, which again is why I just personally like using staples. Our grab handle is thick, so we're going to go slow. once we get around all those layers at the very top, it's usually pretty easy. Because these are just straight edges. Going to take out all of those staples. I'm just checking my seam, make sure we're all good. We are. So I'm just gonna pop out those staples. And here's actually another kind of view. I don't know if you can see where the staples are, and then the stitch line is right below that. So I didn't even come close. I got nervous for a second, thought the interior, nah. I was holding that away. So remember how we separated the interior and exterior? This is where it comes into play. The little zipper tab. Because had we not done that, these two pieces would be connected and we would be sewing the outside to the inside. And then when we sewed the inside, it would be the same thing. The inside would be sewn to the outside. That won't make sense to you unless you've made this pattern. So if you're sitting there like, I have no clue what she's talking about, it's okay. I had no idea what I was talking about before I made this bag either. All right. We're good. All of our seams are good. Now we're going to do the exact same thing for the back for the interior, which goes right here. Such a great teacher, you're very patient and you spit. Thanks, Del. Alright, so again, we're gonna start with the center to the center of that zipper. Instead of using staples for the inside lining, I'm just gonna use pins. Alright, so I start at the top of the curve, and then I'm going to come down here, connect these, and then meet up to the top. All right, let me grab the pins. Just do those on first. Do I do diaper bags? Yeah, I have. I don't make them and stock them like in my inventory on my store. I usually keep them more for custom orders just because most people like to customize them and not make just regular bags. But I have a custom order sign-up list. It's available in my Facebook group. It's called Butter Bags. Let's add our pins and then we'll sew it down. And then all we really have to do is at the bottom, we're just about done. Like I said, there's quite a few steps in this bag. It is not an easy bag to make. It is a more challenging one. But like I said, once you get through it a couple times, it probably took me 3 or 4 times to make this pattern before I was comfortable with not even looking at the directions and just doing it. So don't beat yourself up if you made 1, 2, or even 3 and you're just like, man, I can't get it, but I really want to. Just keep practicing. Oh, your Colette bags vinyl. Yes, they are. All right, stakes are a little bit higher because I've got pins in my fabrics and I don't want to poke myself. So I'm just gonna go kind of slow. The interior lining is so much easier because we don't have all of those layers of other fabric like we do for the outside. I have hand surgery tomorrow. Oh no, I've been sewing like crazy ahead of time. I hope everything works out. My sister had carpal tunnel and she got the surgery, and she said her life is like 100 times better getting that surgery. So hopefully it's something that's gonna help. All right, I'm right where the interior and exterior are separated, so I'm just gonna go extra slow. Done. I'm going to check my seam. My seam allowance went a little bit low over here. It's sewn, I'll show you what I'm talking about. It looks like they just must have shifted just a little bit right here. So I'm just going to do a little stitch right below it, so that way everything lines up nice and perfectly. And if your seam ever messes up, it's okay. It's okay. So this top one, this top seam got a little out of hand up here, and so I just brought it back down right here with an extra little stitch, and everything's good. I want to trim a little bit of this seam allowance off, just so we don't have a lot of extra little bulk on the inside of the bag. May I ask to follow you on Book of... Yeah, of course. I had nodules removed from my lungs and jade. Oh no. That's awesome, Roxanne. Thank goodness it's not. I have a couple of nodules. I was saying this a few weeks ago. I have a couple nodules in my, and I'm just waiting to see an endocrinologist, which everything takes forever out here. I even had to schedule surgery for my dog, and she's been waiting on the surgery list for 2 or 3 months. They finally called me yesterday to schedule her surgery, which is great. All right, trim that down. Let's add our bottom, the bottom piece. So we'll start with our exterior bottom. Good morning. Yeah, thyroid. I like to just go like that. All right, so what I first want to do, I want to open up my seams and just sew those down nice and flat. That's going to be a little bit helpful for when I'm attaching the bottom. And I don't have to fight through all those layers. I had mine removed. Yeah, my sister had hers removed as well. She actually had cancer, thyroid cancer. So we're hoping for the best. All right, one more seam. Where are you? Right here. This is the seam that's going down the front. There we go. Okay, seams are open. We're going to add this. So the back of the bag is where the flat seam is. The front of the bag is where these 2 points meet. So there's a flat side of the bottom, and that's what gets attached to the back. So we're going to line that up. I marked my center so that way I know everything should line up perfectly. Pending our seam allowance. So I'm going to start with a couple clips along that. I'm going to transition it to my lap because it's just she is a big bag. Holly, come on, why am I nervous for this? For the backpack? You're nervous for the backpack? All right, and then now the front of this is where our little attachment is. That gets lined up with this seam. Just center that. What are you nervous about? It's not, well, it is kind of tricky, but don't be nervous. Don't be nervous, Nikki. All right, so I'm just going to take it around. And then again, on my curves, I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple of staples. Just gonna hold everything in place for me so I don't get as nervous as Nikki. I'm gonna start, you know how they say nervous Nelly? We're gonna say nervous Nikki. Hi, Kathy. Don't be a nervous Nikki. I bought that. Thanks, Deanie. I don't think I've seen you make this one before. I've made it quite a few times, but like I said, just like baby bags, I usually reserve these for custom orders, so I don't have them stocked on my website just because it's a lot of work and a lot of material, and I would be devastated if I made one and it just never sold. All right, but we're good. We line up all over the place. The back, the front. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my stapler and hit my curves so everything stays in place. Whose pattern is this? When I find patterns, it says no reselling of the product. This is the Denver by Swoon. And most of the patterns that I buy, and I make patterns, I just say that you can't resell the pattern and you can't make them in massive quantity. So you can't buy my pattern if you're like a manufacturer and make 1,000 of them for sale. It's for the smaller sewist. But I don't think I've ever purchased a pattern and they said that you can't sell the finished product that you made. All right, that side's done. Let's do the same thing over here. She made me a dolphin one. I remember that. Don't you have a dolphin notebook as well? Or did you not get that? All right, couple more. And then we're gonna go at it. Okay. So it's all clipped and stapled together. Stitch right. And as we turn our corners, we're just going to turn our bag. Really the only bulk in this is where our zippers come down from our pocket all the way to the end. It's right here. So that's really the only part that I go kind of slow on. The seam on the front is a little bit bulky. I wish you would do an online class package where you send out the materials needed. Are you outing the staples under the stitch? I'm not sewing the staples under the stitch, no. Dolphin zip around, okay. Yeah, so the staples are on the very outside. I don't know if you can see from here. You probably can't. They're on the very edge of my fabric and my stitch line is down 3/8 of an inch. So I'm not sewing over my staples. And I'll show you a closer view once I'm done. But see how you have to turn the bag while you're sewing? If I just had my fabric clipped together, once I took off the clips to sew it, it could shift. The staples just keep everything in place even once I take off my clips, which is why I use it. All right, I got a seam right here. Go nice and slow. We're coming back to the beginning. All right. So, oh no. Okay. Sorry, I just got a disclosure. See where the staples are? And my seam is right below them, so I'm not sewing over it. I'm so tired of people reporting my stuff. All right, let me take these out. We'll add the bottom for the interior the exact same way, minus the staples. Go. Dogs are coming downstairs. They must be getting bored. I'll probably brave the cold once I'm done. Take them for a walk. Hello. Hello. All right, last one. I'm gonna check my seam. There's a lot of double-sided tape. That would be so much easier. Probably can't process the lines. Oh no. Come here, Butters. Sit, sit. I don't know if you guys can see her. Come here. Come here. She's just a little mix. All right, let me double check my seam. Good, good, good. Gonna do this one just a little bit more. Just to reinforce that side seam. Good, good. Gonna cut this excess off here. There we are. So we're all good. We're all sewn on. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing for the lining bottom. I wanna make sure that my zipper pocket that we're gonna turn this right side out is unzipped. There we go. So we're gonna be sewing this inside out. We're gonna use this pocket to turn it right side out. So we're gonna go ahead, do the same thing. Line up the back with the flat part of the bottom. Center that, and then clip it all the way around. That's adorable that Shenanigans name is Butters. Thanks. She's the mascot of the business. How do your dogs like the change in weather after living in Hawaii? I don't know. I mean, they go outside, but they go outside and they run around. They don't act like they're cold. So I don't think they mind. Butters is an outside dog. She loves to be outside. But we have a little balcony upstairs, and when the sun shines in the afternoon, it shines right through that sliding glass door. So I have the blinds open and the sun coming in, and they just sit on the floor on the inside and just bask in the sun. That's a tiny birthing area. It's okay. It's okay. Take a deep breath. It'll go through. I've done this, can't say hundreds of times. But I've probably made at least 30 of these bags. Between the mini and the regular size, it'll be okay. There's a dog outside. Butters, get it together. Get it together. Nervous Nikki strikes again. Yes, she does. It's okay. It's alright. There's a dog outside that's barking. Is she bothering you, Butters? I know. Alright, one more clip after this and we'll be ready to roll. Yeah, they need to walk after this. Okay. So we've got the bottom clipped and pinned in place. We're gonna go ahead and sew it all together. All right, go lay down. Go on, go lay down. Our seam. If all is good, we're going to turn this baddie right side out, add the front clip, and then we are done. It's almost 1 o'clock. I don't know if I'll have enough time to make the notebook. Let me just add a little stitch right here. But then again, I might. Seam looks good. It's easier to check your seam before you turn it right side out than to flip it right side out and your seam's coming through. All right, we're good to go. Nikki, close your eyes. So see how it's sewn inside out? We're gonna go through this little tiny pocket to turn it right side out. All right, let me unzip. Grab a hold of the bottom. Let me clean all my clips up so I don't knock them on the floor. There we go. And we're just gonna push and roll, nice and slow. Here we go. Deep breaths. That's good. I've got plenty clearance. Let me think. I think I made the pocket 9 inches wide, and then when I sewed it on, I think I made the opening. The pattern pieces were 9 inches wide, and I think when I sewed it on, it was 8 or 8.5. No, yeah, 8 or 8.5 inches wide. So it's plenty big. Just go nice and slow. It's grounded. I always make it so easy. Thanks, Wanda. It's just going slow, deep breaths. I'm just pushing out all my seams. And this is where you don't want to do it and be like, oh my gosh, that seam didn't catch. So just take an extra second, double check all of your seams, make sure all is good. That's done. I'm going to push everything down so that way I can sew my pocket shut. See, we have plenty of space. Uh-oh. thread just came out of my needle. I know, puppy. Alright, let's do it. I use a 3.5 to shut my pockets. Holly, do you know which charm you want to use for the zipper? Thanks, Nikki. Alright, I'm just shutting that zipper, getting my lining pressed down. And then we're just going to pull out all of our seams from the back. Alright, so here's the cool part. This is kind of what it looks like. These are our little pockets that we made at the very beginning. Alright, so here's the fun part. I knew I was going to do that. I just pulled my zipper off, which is okay. I'll just put it back on. Get that tucked in. It's going like this. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. The angle of this is crazy. What's your trick threading your needle so quickly without a needle threader? I think just repetition. There we go. Oh, good, no fear. Okay, so here's where this little clip that we made in the beginning comes in. So it kind of looks funky like this, but we're going to press that down, and that's going to clip into this right here. So this is going to be added on here, so that way we can do a little security clip. And that's what the backpack looks like when it's done, which is such a unique look. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to get everything nice and lined up. Let's go ahead and sew this down, just so everything is nice and lined up. There we go. I don't have to worry about that pull coming off. Great vision. I don't know about that, man. I feel like the older I get, the worse, like literally on a daily basis, the worse my eyes get. All right, so this is just going to go over this part right here, and we're going to rivet it in place. So I'm just going to pull it towards me so that way I can make sure everything is lined up perfectly. Holly, you must be so excited. She has been waiting quite a while for this. Okay. Get everything lined up. I want to grab some large clips. Because if you come all this way and you don't center this piece, and this is the last step, I would die. Alright, that goes there. That goes there. There we go. So that's what it's going to look like before we rivet it on. And that's just the little security clip, so that top doesn't go up any further than that. But it can also go down, and we have our zipper closure. So there's a zipper and there's a security clip. Let me grab my rivets. I think medium should work. Do 3. Can you show the different ones? The different, oh, yeah. The different charms. Of course. So this one is the smallest one. We'll call this one A. And then this one is B. And it still have C. Yeah. me go through and see if I have any more. Stop, Butters. I think I just have those two. I'm not sure if I have. Oh, here we go. Let me refill my container. So this is going to be C. So A, B, C. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. Let me grab my press, my hole punch. B is good. Can you add an extra one for my purse? Add an extra one to your backpack, or are you saying to the package? Did you email me? I'll forget. I can promise you that by the time I get off this live, I'm gonna forget. So just if you can email me, that would be great. Thanks, Blessed Mess. All right, so all I'm doing is lining up where my rivets go, and I'm just going to poke through that. But I have to obviously look at it. I know. Thanks. Alright. I know. Drama. Alright, those two are in. And I'm going to add one more to the bottom. This is usually the hardest one because this is where the zipper is. That'll give you a hand workout for sure. Alright, so before I set them, I'm going to show you what it looks like up close. Butters. Sorry, guys. Okay, done. Done. Let me add the charm. Thank you guys. Thanks, Jeannie, Linda. Okay, thanks, Holly. This charm has the tiniest little jump ring. Okay, there we go. Put all those away later. Alright, so here's what we're looking like. Backpack. It's gonna fill out, obviously. So when I ship these, I like to stuff them, which kind of blows out the size and get it kind of molded, I want to kind of say, to where you can use it. But I mean, they're sturdy, but you can still fill it with a whole bunch of stuff. Again, we have one pretty large size pocket on this side, and on this side you can get into the bag without having to take off the little clasp. All you have to do is zip the top down and you can get on the inside. So I'm pushing on this right here from the inside. Or you can unclip it to open it all the way. And you can fill it with quite a bit of stuff. And remember, there's a zipper pocket on the inside of it, right there on that back. But as you can see, you can fit a ton of stuff in here. It'll stay kind of bulky and still clip down if you have it full. All right, that's done. I'm gonna have to run, Holly. I know you said you don't mind, and I appreciate that. Once I make your notebook, I'll just send you an email with some pictures of it being done. But that's what it looks like. And then the back, of course, has the adjustable straps, which can be taken all the way down if you like to wear it like low on your shoulders, or however you want to wear it. Thanks, Nikki. I'm glad we made it through. I'm glad you're still here with us and you're kicking. So this pattern is not mine. It is called the Denver, and it's by Swoon, S-W-O-O-N. I don't know if that's still the name of the company, but if you just Google Denver pattern by Swoon, this should come up. But kind of a funny story. So she has a notebook, or not a notebook, an Alyssa crossbody bag with this pattern. And it has her name on the bottom. So it's the crossbody bag. She's also getting one of these with her name on it as well. But she wanted something that matched her crossbody bag. And because of the shape of the bag, so when I printed this custom piece, this piece up here and this piece is just one flat piece. But as you notice, when the bag is done, it kind of folds in. So there was no way for us to make this pattern look right on this bag because of the way that this one whole piece and this one whole piece folds down. So what we did is, well, what I did is I put it into Photoshop, and there's a little program that you can run to take one pattern and kind of make all different ways, upwards, downwards, side, different ways for it to be printed. So if you notice close up, let me see, kind of on this pocket, you'll be able to see where it says best teacher ever. This is actually the piece of paper that her notebook and her crossbody bag is in, and it's just rearranged all over the bag, which is kind of cool. So it's not, it looked kind of just like notebook pieces of paper. I didn't know if you guys knew that or not. If you put me in a box, I can show my purse. Oh, yeah. I need to figure out the Photoshop. Yes. I have this custom printed. Let me see if I can add you, Holly. Send me an invite. Holly, if you send me an invite, I'll add you and you can show off your bag. Isn't it cute? And then she has a notebook holder that I'm going to be doing right after I take my dogs for a walk. Oh, they look so pitiful. They're ready to go. You did. Let's see. I didn't get a notification. Let me see if there's... Let's see if I can figure it out. Settings. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Duh. I never do this. All right. Thanks, Mandy. Are you there? Oh, there it is. So that's the crossbody bag that she had made a while ago.
And this is the wallet.
Yep. And then she has a notebook coming. And now you have a backpack coming. I hope you enjoy it.
I love it. I can't wait.
Good. I'm glad. I'll get it out first thing tomorrow.
Okay, no problem.
All right. I will see. Bye. I will see you guys live again on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. We have another custom order that we're doing then. Have a great week. Until then, bye.